I'm Ed Kelley, editor of The Oklahoman. The state of Arizona is appealing the ruling by a federal judge that has blocked the implementation of that state's new immigration law, one that has fueled considerable controversy nationwide. To discuss what happens next is Mark Green, national editorial writer for The Oklahoman and a frequent contributor to newsok.com. Mark, as you know, the Obama administration argued successfully with that judge in Arizona that immigration is a federal issue and not one for states to enforce. But let's talk about the political ramifications. Don't a lot of Democrats really wish this challenge to Arizona's law could have come after the fall elections, given the fact that most polls show Americans support Arizona's position on this issue?
Well, I think that's absolutely right, Ed. The trouble that the Democrats have is not necessarily with the larger picture and whether this law should go forward or not. It's just the timing of it. It's an issue that has broad resonance throughout the country, not just in the border areas, but across the country as a whole. And Democrats are fighting enough battles going into the fall elections with the economy and the oil spill in the Gulf and health care and all these other issues. And to be on the wrong side of an issue that Americans, they broadly support and generally support is not good politics at this time. So yeah, they wish that this might have come up later.
Okay, let's turn to the states. As you know, some state officials outside of Arizona, including here in Oklahoma, have talked about the need for an Arizona-style immigration law in their backyards. But with this judge's action, will such attempts by other states really become a moot point?
Well, Ed, I was talking about it this morning with our colleague Chris Castile here in the Bureau, and there's an interesting dynamic, in terms of constitutional law and cases that reach the Supreme Court that could be in play here. I mean, the first thing that you might think is that, well, with this court case in Arizona, maybe it'll put all these other state efforts on hold for a while they wait to see how the thing shakes out at the circuit level, and maybe if it reaches the Supreme Court. The other way to look at it is that perhaps other states and other circuits will push their laws trying to drive this as a constitutional issue, because the fastest way one of the fastest ways for an issue to reach the Supreme Court is if you have two circuits that are in opposition to each other. So the thinking would be, well, we'll push our case in our circuit, we'll get a favorable ruling for our immigration law, and it'll force a confrontation at the Supreme Court level and therefore a faster national decision.
Okay, Mark, thanks. newsok.com is your source for updates on this story.